My name is Zach Douglas. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, and I make bass music under the alias Z-Dougie. I got into music because I used to dance. I would do like the animation. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's just like a form of hip hop dance, but it kind of came to life with like electronic music and dubstep and stuff. I was really little and I danced for like the Memphis Grizzlies on their junior dance team. And so I was like 8 years old and I was dancing at the FedEx Forum here in Memphis for like 20,000 people or whatever, like every month for 6 years when I was little. That was like a huge part of how I got into this. Was I heard electronic music and that was my favorite music to dance to. And so I wanted to learn how to make it. And so that was, I don't really do it too much anymore. You know, I used to like compete and like travel and stuff. Yeah, I kind of moved away from that and into this, and it was a pretty fluid transition between one another. And I can definitely still like bust a move in the club if I need to, you know, but I started DJing when I was like 14 years old. I got a 99-cent DJ app on my iPod Touch, and I thought I was like Skrillex, dude. I would get in my friends' cars and like plug in my iPod to their aux cord and be like DJing on my phone for my friends whenever we would go places. And like I asked my parents and got some super cheap like Toys R Us sorta DJ equipment when I was like 14. And so I did that. I was DJing and I started playing like house parties and stuff when I was like 15 or 16. And I got into producing. I'd say I've been taking it seriously for about like 3 or 4 years now. So I really started like diving into producing when I was about 18 years old, and I'm 22 now. So I'm born and raised here in Memphis, and so I grew up on like a bunch of rap music and stuff like that, 3 6 Mafia and stuff. It definitely made its way into my project pretty heavily. It's a lot of hip-hop influences, but a lot of innovative electronic stuff too, I like to think. It's just a lot of 808s and hi-hats with dubstep sounds, basically. I'd really say that it's just like hybrid ghetto bass music. I don't know exactly what the genre would be, but the bigger parts of doing the show promoting and running and management and everything were with Daisyland. So I was with them for about 3 years. Daisyland was the highlight of booking. You know, I'm still currently booking shows, but really, I mean, it was fantastic. It was great experience and all sorts of things like school can't teach you, you know. I got the job when I was 19 years old, and I had just dropped out of college. I did 1 year at UTC. I dropped out and I moved back home with like absolutely no plan. My parents were like, what are you gonna do? I was like, I don't know, I'm coming back and living with you guys until I figure it out though. And so I moved back and I got booked for a show at the New Daisy. And at the time I was just thinking like, well, the best thing I could do is just hit whatever opportunity I have as hard as I can. And so in that scenario, it was bring out as many people as I can for a supporting slot. I just moved back home. I had this big show coming up, opening for like Getter, I think. And I brought out like a ton of people, like 120 kids or something like that. The owner pulled me over to the side and was like wanting my number, and like I got to meet him and I was like, this is awesome. And I got a call 3 days later and he was like, hey, I need somebody to run this place. I had told him straight up, it was like, man, I've only ever DJ'd, like I just dropped out of school. I'm living with my parents. Like I have zero experience in this. I guess he just saw like a young kid who could bring out a lot of people and really needed a spot filled. And so I got the job and I just like dove into it, and I really messed things up for like the first 6 months. I just had no idea what I was doing. I basically just got kind of yelled at for like 6 months until I had been yelled at for all of the things, you know, and so I learned my lesson each time, but before I knew it, I knew what I was doing. What I love about this scene, like Memphis and Arkansas and stuff, is They're really not like the biggest scenes, but they're like really like close together. You know, it's really cool to see a community growing right in front of your eyes. You know, I like to think that I'm like a pretty big part of what Memphis is and has come to be and will be. I've put in a lot of work here, and a lot of other people have too, and I think it's definitely doing something, and it's exciting to be a part of something growing like this regardless of the size. You know, we're impacting people's lives and making people have a lot more fun, and so I think that's really the important thing and the coolest part about it.